days are behind you and you have a wife that's happy at home, is it a move you can realistically make? Ever since backpacking in New Zealand, Greg Wallen's been planning on making a permanent return.
I want to make a home in New Zealand more than anything in the world.
Now married, his wife's willing to be convinced.
It's always been his dream, it's been what he wants to do, and he put all of that on hold for me. I owe him to try.
But when the trial week in the country doesn't quite go to plan...
It's cold, the floor feels damp. It's not the image that I had in my head of moving to New Zealand. I'm worried, Jen. Really, really worried.
Will Greg be forced to give up on his dream?
Maybe I was thinking the grass is definitely greener on the other side. Now I'm kind of like, brutally honest, oh my God, what have I done?
Lying nearly 1,000 miles from its neighbour Australia, New Zealand's home to the southernmost capital in the world. A third of the country is designated as national parks and reserves, and inhabitants are never more than 18 miles from the sea. So it's easy to see why every year 7,000 adventure-loving Brits choose to make the country home. Greg Wallen was all set to return to the land he loved as a backpacker when a dabble in online dating brought his plans to an abrupt halt. Fast forward 5 years, and Greg's still passionate in his belief New Zealand's where he should be living. He just has to convince his wife Jenny it's a realistic option and worth giving up everything she has at home. The Wallens trial week kicks off with more than 22 hours in the air, flying to Auckland via Hong Kong. It can be a tough journey for anyone, but it's only made worse when, like Jenny, you're 3 months pregnant.
My morning sickness, which lasted 27 hours, was not great.
3-year-old Evie struggled too.
You didn't sleep, did you, madam?
Evie didn't sleep at all from Hong Kong to here, but she was good, she was good.
The long trip's given Jenny plenty of time to think about the distance she's put between family.
I had a few tears on the plane already. I kept thinking about how often my mum would likely come over, and it all just got a little bit overwhelming, didn't it?
And for Greg, touching down again on Kiwi soil's been moving too.
I got a bit emotional when I landed, actually. It's kind of like, I'm almost like I'm home feeling. I mean, it's weird, it's good. I feel completely comfortable, completely at ease here.
Whether New Zealand will become his home will depend on Greg persuading Jenny over the next 7 days. Meet the Wallens. They are Greg, Jenny and 3-year-old Evie from Sheffield. In 2010, as a young carefree bachelor, Greg spent a year backpacking in New Zealand and the country captured his heart.
The thing I liked most about New Zealand was the people, the culture, I think, of the country. Everything was really, really, really clean. Within about 6 weeks of being in New Zealand, I felt completely at ease with life.
When his travel visa expired, Greg reluctantly returned to the UK. But smitten with everything New Zealand had to offer, he immediately began planning to move there for good.
I came back to the UK, had a job lined up here in Sheffield. I had about a 6-month tops target in my head, and then go back.
But fate intervened in his New Zealand plans when he dipped his toe in the waters of online dating.
I wasn't looking for anything serious, I wasn't looking for love, I wasn't looking for marriage. I was just looking for someone to spend time with because I didn't really know anyone in Sheffield, really.
I'd gone on it, being a single parent, not having much opportunity to meet anyone, and we talked online, we met up for a date.
Greg and Jenny hit it off straight away. But Greg was up front from the start. He was on his way back down under.
I don't think either of us really went into it thinking that this is going to be a long-term relationship.
Then as it got more serious and as I started to feel more for him, I started to get a bit more worried that he was going to up and leave me. And I was like, OK.
Within 2 weeks of meeting, Greg was begging Jenny to join him for a new life in New Zealand. But as their relationship blossomed, she was clear her heart lay in the UK.
I fell in love with Jen, and the more I was falling in love with Jen, the more the dream was slipping away at the same time. And then Jen was going, you know, stay, don't go back, we can have a good life here. And I was just, obviously, I was torn. And then, also, I decided to stay with Jen.
Choosing love over the Kiwi lifestyle, Greg settled down to start a new home with Jenny and took on her daughter Evie as his own. The couple married in 2013, but Greg's dream of a life in New Zealand hasn't disappeared.
I think at the point where Jen wasn't as keen as I was, it was a blow, but it never really went away for me. I want to make a home in New Zealand more than anything in the world.
While he fell in love with the country as a single man, he believes it's the ideal place for his new family to settle.
When I lived in New Zealand, I felt it was perfect for me. I remember walking through towns, parks, beaches, kids everywhere, and they were all incredibly happy. And I remember just thinking to myself all the time, this is a brilliant place to raise a family.
With Jenny expecting, the family will soon outgrow their current home, and Greg believes it's the ideal opportunity to kickstart his dream once again.
It's only 2 bedrooms. If we had another child, it would be very difficult, and the living space is just not big enough.
It's not big enough as it is.
We're already overflowing, aren't we?
Yeah. Instead of using the money we have got to move to a bigger house, we could potentially use that money to emigrate to New Zealand.
Knowing how passionate her husband is about making a home on the other side of the world, Jenny's prepared to give it a shot.
If we can make it work finance, job-wise, quality of life-wise, now would be a good time.
But she's already losing sleep thinking about leaving her family behind.
I'll wake up in the middle of the night, or I'll be talking to one of my family or friends who are saying, oh, we're going to miss you, and I crumble and go, oh, I don't know if I can do this.
And taking Evie away from her parents is also causing concern.
It's one of the things that holds me back, thinking that Evie's not going to have that relationship with her grandparents that I really want her to have.
Leaving loved ones could be hard for Greg too. He's only recently reconciled with his mum.
The hardest person for me to leave behind would probably be... Sorry. It's probably going to be my mum. I didn't talk to my mum for a number of years, and since meeting Jen, we've kind of got our relationship back. So I'm kind of nervous about chucking that away again. That's tough for me.
For 4 years, Greg's been desperate to make a permanent return to New Zealand. Now he has a week to see if the country he fell for as a backpacker is as good as he remembers, and convince his wife to start again on the other side of the world.
The move to New Zealand is a risk. It's a massive risk. It's a gamble. I'm not going to lie about it. This would definitely prove to us whether I was kind of looking at it from 12,000 miles away through rose-tinted spectacles.
For me and Greg, it's about whether or not we put our roots down and really commit to our life here, or whether we commit to a life in New Zealand. So the rest of our life feels on hold until we've made that decision.
Greg, Jenny and Evie are spending their trial week in Auckland, home to a third of all New Zealanders. Their base for the week is situated in Milford on the city's north shore. Will her first taste of Kiwi living work its charms on Jenny?
Wow, it's lovely.
Upstairs, the open-plan kitchen and living area make a good first impression.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Look at the view from here, Jen.
As they settle in, Greg's overjoyed to have finally got Jenny to New Zealand.
It's took 4 years to get Jen to this point. I can't believe it's all boiled down to this.
But she's anxious about the week ahead.
Decided on the rest of my life at the end of this week is quite a scary prospect. Is scary.
Greg feels he's in prime position to convince her to make the move.
I think this is the best chance of persuading Jen to move out here, because for me, walking upstairs here and looking at this view of the city from, you know, the most beautiful country in the world, it's sold me. I've just got to try and get Jen over the line.
But while Jenny accepts how much this all means to her husband,
It's always been his dream, it's been what he wants to do, and he put all of that on hold for me, so I owe him to try.
she's in no mood to bow to pressure.
He's going to have to allow me time to think and not just keep saying to me, look at this, isn't this great, look at this, isn't that great. He needs to not try and force his viewpoint onto me.
Greg's got an uphill struggle on his hands if he's to finally make his dream come true.
This is it. This is like, you know, make or break for me.
The next week will decide where the family will spend the rest of their lives. Back in the UK, the Wallens live in a 2-bedroom house in Sheffield.
We do like living here, and we do like the area we're in, but it's just not big enough for our needs anymore. We've outgrown it, haven't we?
Yeah.
Jen is fond of an aspect of their current home that Greg feels could help his cause.
I like the open plan living, I like the fact we've got 2 toilets.
Do you like New Zealand then? It's very open plan living.
Yeah, that's good.
But there might be a difference of opinion on what a Kiwi home has to have.
At least 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, preferably one of those is ensuite.
A wood burner.
We can put the wood burner in.
It's a must for me. You say it's not a deal breaker, but it could be.
We can put one in. We can't
We-
change sizes of rooms.
The Wallens have £250,000 to spend on a Kiwi house. Today we'll show them 3 properties, 2 on budget and a third which could be their dream home. Only after they've seen each one will they find out its value. For the first viewing, the family drive about an hour south of Auckland to Waiuku. Close to a park and the local primary school, will this 4-bedroom property be a good fit for the Wallens? The house's curb appeal gets the viewing off on the right foot.
What do you reckon, love?
Looks very nice.
And Evie quickly makes a friend.
Ah.
The cat, is that a winner for you now then, Evie? Yeah.
Everything's going swimmingly until they step into the first bedroom.
I don't like it.
Why?
Hideous.
What don't you like about it?
Right, it's cold, the floor feels damp. I reckon the place has got rising damp, it needs a rewire. And if they, I don't know, I just don't like it, full stop.
Straight away, this house is falling far short of what Greg had been hoping for.
Wow. Oh.
And the next bedroom doesn't help.
I don't like the feel of it, Jen. We've got to come 12,000 miles, both find new jobs, with 2 children, integrate into life, and then we've got to sort the house out as well. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's a bit of a tall order.
Oh dear, it's not looking good.
So you don't want a renovation project?
It's going to be too much for me, Jen.
Okay.
I'm just going to see what else this place has got to offer, because I'm not really happy at the minute.
The next 2 bedrooms are downstairs.
Oh, this is nice. This is lovely. I like this exposed brick. Do you prefer this bedroom to the ones upstairs?
Yeah.
It's an improvement, but Greg's expectations just aren't being met.
It's not the image that I had in my head of moving to New Zealand, it's far from it. I can't, mate. I'm not going to raise my kids in a place like this. I'm shell-shocked, to say the least, to be honest with you.
And disappointment quickly turns to despair.
I'm worried, Jen. Really, really worried. I'm actually really scared this is not going to work. Really scared it's not going to work. I don't know. Where are we going left?
Upstairs, the living room does show more promise.
Well, this is much better.
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't expect this. It's got the log burner. It's one of your requirements, a log burner.
I know, but we're going
I
to
think,
need a log
was it a
burner.
log burner you wanted?
Yes, it was, dear.
Was it? Wasn't quite sure. You've not said it enough.
And the kitchen comes up trumps.
Nice big kitchen.
It's nice, isn't it?
Until electrical engineer Greg spots some dubious wiring.
Oh my god. Look at it. Look at that. Back home, that'll be uninsurable.
This house clearly isn't the one for the Wallens. So just how close does it come to the family's £250,000 budget?
Right, the moment of truth. How much do you think?
160. I'll go a bit high, £170,000.
Probably be on for about 200,000 in Sheffield.
Come on, think positive. £165,000. I'll do it.
£261,000.
That's £11,000 over budget.
It's looking bleak at least, isn't it?
Looks like we're not moving for the house.
261 grand for this. This has made me feel sick with worry about the rest of this week, to be honest. I knew we were going to be in for an emotional few days.
The price of Auckland property is hitting home for Greg. Will property 2 be more up his street? Just a 20-minute drive to the east is Pukekohe, a town offering a relaxed way of life, yet within an hour's commute of Auckland city centre.
Wow, Christmas garden.
From the outside, this 3-bedroom home makes a much better impression.
I definitely like this area more. It's got a much better view, much better feel about it. Yeah, this is good.
Inside,
Oh, this is a nice little hall. This feels more modern.
Greg's mood continues to lift.
Oh, this is a nice...
Bedroom, isn't it?
Yeah, this is nice.
Positive first sign, doesn't feel damp, doesn't feel cold. Yeah, it's quite a good start.
And Evie's happy too.
Really good. Yay.
Next door, bedroom 2 also pleases.
Oh, another bedroom. This is a nice sized child's room, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. I'm happy.
This house is winning Greg's approval, but the floor plan could be a stumbling block for Jenny.
I'm glad there's a 3rd bedroom, but I'm not sure how I feel about it being off the dining room.
And she's no happier in the kitchen.
I'd redo it.
A lot.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Outside, the garden doesn't impress either.
It's a bit pokey, isn't it?
So basically then the garden for the kids is at the front.
It's not enough, is it?
No.
This house has won praise and criticism in equal measure. But could Greg and Jenny afford it with their budget of £250,000?
For us to flip that card over and keep the dream alive, it's got to be under 200. I'm thinking 180-ish. So what do you think it's worth?
Based on last property, I'm going to say at 250.
Go for it.
251,000.
That's £1,000 over budget.
No, absolutely not. Maybe I was looking at it with rose-tinted spectacles. Maybe I was thinking the grass was definitely greener on the other side. Now I'm kind of like, brutally honest, oh my God, what have I done?
The possibility his dream could be slipping away proves too much for an emotional Greg. So far, the property hunt has brought doubt and disappointment, but there's still one more property to view. Also in Pukekohe, we found what could be Greg and Jenny's dream home. Will it be the one to turn around their property fortunes and get Greg's dream back on track?
Wow.
Okay.
Much better,
This
isn't
is much more like what I would like.
Inside, Greg's expectations are at last being met.
it? This is the image I had in my head. This is what I wanted you to see. Spot on.
Lovely.
Perfect.
The spacious kitchen with its granite worktops has both Greg and Jenny excited.
Oh, this is amazing, isn't it?
This is such a nice finish.
Nicely laid out.
Nicely laid out, large enough.
And a second living room hits the spot.
This is a lovely family lounge. This is huge.
Wow.
I have noticed the one thing it doesn't have that you wanted.
Log burner.
Yeah.
I'm willing to sack the log burner off.
That's a fair compromise, Greg.
This is the New Zealand house that I had in my head.
It's revived the dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
The first 3 bedrooms continue to impress.
It's a nice.
is nice.
I would say I'm sold on
Well, yeah, it's a lovely sized room.
it. Nice window looking out over the back garden. It ticks every box and more. Look at this for Evie.
This is perfect for Evie. She'd absolutely love it.
The dream could be alive.
But Greg's beginning to worry if they could afford to call this house home.
I've got a feeling we're going to get absolutely smashed on price.
Money worries seem a distant memory, though, as the master bedroom seals the deal.
Oh, this is perfect.
You can't tell me this does not beat hands down every house you looked at in Sheffield over the last 2 years.
Yeah, it does.
It's a room that just keeps on giving.
Walk-in wardrobe.
A walk-in, not just a built-in. Oh, wow.
Mind blowing.
I'm sweet. Oh, this is nice.
I'm absolutely still speechless. It's perfect.
And outside, the garden's picture perfect.
That view is stunning.
Couldn't ask for more, really, could you?
No.
This really could be Greg and Jenny's dream home. Time to find out if it's within reach of their £250,000 budget.
This is my dream New Zealand house.
If we flip this card over now, it comes in 350, 400,000.
Basically, if it works out financially and the lifestyle is good,
We're on.
even if this costs us so much that we couldn't really afford, at least in the short term, to be saving up to go home, I like this
We'd
house
put up
so
with it.
much that I'm thinking
We'll deal with it for
we'll
the time
deal
being.
with it for the time being.
Right, this is it, darling. £400,000. Off you can flip this card.
Okay.
Oh my god. 331,000.
Really?
That is cheap, really.
That's £81,000 over budget.
It's looking positive at that, isn't it? If we can get a decent wage, that is all my dreams and more, and anything I can hope for come true. That's how much it means to me.
Greg's delighted. If he can secure the job to pay for this property, his dream really could be back on track. It's been a day that's taken Greg on a journey from desperation to hope. Property 1 caused concern with potential damp issues and outdated wiring. Property 2 failed to impress with a garden deemed far too small. But Property 3 raised the bar with wow factor living areas and scenic views. So when it comes to property, will the family vote home or away?
Based on all the properties we've seen today, our vote goes to... UK.
Undecided.
Where do you want to live? Why were you undecided?
That last house we saw was just ideal. And in England, we would never be able to afford that. But if the finances over here means that we could afford that, then I would do New Zealand.
We'll find out tomorrow whether we can afford it or not. And if we can, it will flip straight to New Zealand. But at the moment, I need to put my thinking logical head on. And my logical head at the moment says to stay in the UK.
Greg may have found the perfect pad, but if the couple are to afford it, finding well-paid jobs will be vital. Back in the UK, Greg's an electrical engineer and runs his own business fitting and testing electrical safety equipment.
Absolutely love it. Used to work for a company, which I enjoyed, but I thought I could do better on my own. And business at the moment is really, really busy. Currently booked out for the next sort of 3 months solid.
In New Zealand, he'd be keen to become an employee again, hoping that would improve his work-life balance.
I hope kind of to work around the 40 to 50 hours a week in New Zealand for a company, weekends and evenings off ideally, so I can get some more time with my family, which I currently don't have always.
Jenny, meanwhile, is a social worker dealing with child protection.
I love in my job the thought of helping people. I'm helping children to make sure that they have the greatest start in life they can.
To sign off on a move, she'd need to be sure her career prospects weren't hindered.
The next step forward, if I was to remain in the UK, would be looking at management role. And that's what I would be looking for, maybe in New Zealand.
Hard on the heels of discovering how expensive property can be in Auckland, today's job search comes with added pressure.
About less than $100,000.
Okay.
While Evie's looked after by a childminder, the couple set off to investigate their work prospects. It's a big day for Greg's dream, and he's feeling the strain.
Paramount thing's money. If we got enough money to look at buying something like House 3 that we saw yesterday, I'm pretty sure we'd all vote yes at the end of the week.
Greg's meeting Dave Burt, who runs an electrical company currently fitting out a new housing complex.
This here is a block of probably the first 15 apartments that we've just started pre-wiring.
Straight away, he's keen to hear if his qualifications would be recognised in New Zealand.
When you come out here, you're going to have to submit all your qualifications to the Electrical Wiring Regulation Board,
Yeah.
which they'll probably accept if you've done your City and Guilds, I assume you have.
Yeah. Is that transferable out here? Or?
It is, but then you still have to sit your regulations exam.
But how likely would Greg be to find work?
I would say that a qualified electrician is normally never out of work. A good
Okay.
one's never out of work.
That sounds encouraging. Meanwhile, across town, Jen is visiting a charity which provides social work services. She's met by practice leader Sinet, a South African who recently migrated from the UK.
UK here, so
How easy did you find it to find a social work job?
it depends on what you want to do. I think what I found is you have much more choice here around the kind of social worker you want to be.
Yeah.
In the UK, it's a lot of child protection focus,
Yeah.
where here is a lot more focus on early intervention.
And Sinet tells Jenny settling into Kiwi life isn't difficult.
Yeah, it's been a good experience. I think people in New Zealand is very welcoming. My husband has had some friends here and they were just very welcoming, and I've made some really great friends at work.
That should be reassuring. Back at the building site, Greg's getting down to the nitty-gritty and asks about Dave's employees' working week.
Generally, it's a 40-hour week.
Yeah.
But because most of the guys work a 9 to 10-hour day, you can easily knock in 50 hours a week.
The hours are what he hoped for, but what about the bottom line, Greg's potential earnings?
Between the 60s, and you could easily go up into the 80 plus.
That's around £35,000, significantly more than the £25,000 he currently earns at home.
That's good. That's a bit more kind of what I was hoping for.
Greg's delighted with what he's discovered today, but he knows everything now rests on how Jenny fares.
We need her to be up around roughly the 100,000 mark to make it work for us. With the overtime here, we're kind of nestled nicely for myself. So if Jen gets what we think she's going to get in a managerial position, I think we're on to a winner.
It's crunch time for Jenny as she meets senior manager Elizabeth Tortali-Walker.
So you would come in at a senior practitioner level. Are you interested in the salary range?
Yes, definitely, yes. That's always a good
Yeah,
question.
it's quite a broad range. It starts at 53 and moves up to around 63, the mid-60s.
Is that New Zealand dollars?
Even at the top of the bracket, Jenny would see her income fall from around £31,000 to £27,000.
How sought after are social work roles?
It has become extremely competitive. My last recruitment effort, we had one social work vacancy. We had 72 applicants. So it wouldn't be easy, but you could secure employment.
Jenny breaks the bad news when she catches up with Greg later on.
I wouldn't be earning as much as we thought, basically. So that was the
So
kick in the teeth.
if you came,
Greg shares what he learned.
I'll be looking at about 65,000. If I did overtime, I'll be looking at around 80,000.
So actually, in one respect, it's not as good news for me, but it's much better news for you in terms of finances.
Yeah.
So after a day of mixed fortunes, how will the couple vote when it comes to work in New Zealand versus the UK?
So based on the jobs we've seen today, our vote is... New Zealand.
New Zealand. Why did you do that?
Well, I know why you've done it, because it was real good news for you. Your news actually makes me think, well, maybe I can be the one who works part-time and you can be the one to work full-time.
We have to do a few more hours, and I was hoping to, but we've always done what we have to do to make it work.
Greg may have had a shaky start to his week, but a vote for New Zealand from Jenny, despite a drop in salary, means his dream could be back on track. New Zealand's famed for its family-friendly lifestyle, so a day sampling some Auckland activities could be just what's needed to land another vote in his favour. The family kick off the day with a visit to a French market in Parnell, just east of the city centre. It's been voted one of Auckland's best food markets, and they're soon tucking in.
Mozzarella. That's nice.
It's the kind of family day out Greg's hoping will be a regular occurrence.
Today's going absolutely swimmingly. Seeing Evie here in New Zealand and how she's been the last couple of days, wow. It's just, you know, it's tears of happiness, not sadness, but seeing your children happy makes me happy.
And the market's a place Jenny can imagine making a regular haunt.
Come here, have breakfast, get some fresh produce, some wine and champagne to go in our hot tub that we're going to have at the back of our house. Why am I trying to get...
I know, you're beginning to change your mind a little bit here. It's good, progress.
Next, a trip to Auckland Zoo, where Evie's soon displaying her wildlife knowledge.
Penguins. Look, zebra too.
Oh, dear me.
Quack. Oh no, there's nothing.
Thinking of Evie's future, Jenny's view on moving to New Zealand could be softening.
Evie is loving New Zealand, and I think I am starting to feel very much that this would be ideal for her and for our other child.
And Greg's beginning to feel confident his wife's coming around.
As the week's gone on, she's become more and more and more sort of towards New Zealand. I reckon the dream's still alive. I kind of feel it's job almost done, but not quite there. I've still got a little bit of apprehension.
Leaving loved ones, though, could still be an issue for both Jenny and Greg.
Mum's kind of been really, really supportive about the whole thing. She keeps saying, you know, we're only a day away, worst case scenario. Well, you know, I need to do what's best for my family, and ultimately that's what I need to do.
It's very easy to get caught up in the whole lifestyle and wouldn't this be great and wouldn't this be brilliant for Rose and for Evie, and I've not yet really started to think about the impact of leaving family and friends.
Thoughts of friends and family aside, it has been a fun day out. So has the lifestyle in New Zealand proved a winner for Greg and Jenny?
Time to vote.
New Zealand.
New Zealand!
Good girl.
Hey. I voted New Zealand because look at the day we've had. It's been relaxing, it's been peaceful. We've not been constantly worrying about the weather, even though we're in autumn, nearly winter over here, and it's not been too costly.
It's a good feeling, but I was kind of 99.99% sure we're all going to
Enjoy the lifestyle.
well, we can't fault this, can we?
Can't fault it. Can't fault it. It's beautiful.
With 2 votes from Jenny for New Zealand, Greg's dream could be within his reach. But if it's to stand any chance of becoming a reality, it's vital the finances stack up.
Yeah.
The couple feel their house in the UK is worth around £110,000. To find out if they're right, we sent round 2 estate agents.
Nice open plan living space, neutrally decorated, and nice windows that overlook the garden. So the kitchen looks well looked after and also nice and modern as well. So it's a nice, low maintenance garden with your access out to your rear parking. Good sized bathroom, and again another contemporary look.
I'll fix the bath now.
And this is a great sized second bedroom.
Nice puppy.
That's your puppy, isn't it? Another good sized double bedroom. And it seems a cat. Hello. In today's market, I would value this property at a guide price of 110 to 120,000. For a quick sale, I'd value the property at 105,000. In today's market, I would value this house at around about 110,000. If the owners wanted a quick sale, then I would suggest a price between 100 and 105.
That's exactly what I'd kind of anticipated.
Yeah, so there's no... I'm not shocked at all.
No
that.
shocks.
I'm quite happy with that.
I'm quite happy with that as well.
With their valuations on target, the couple move on to examine how their finances would fare in New Zealand.
Do you want to do the honours or shall I?
We've provided a comparison of costs, starting with the weekly food shop.
Ketchup, $1.23.
You know, we knew that was dear the other day when I nearly fell over in the supermarket.
Meatballs, £2. She's not going to be having them anymore.
Which means it's £57.27 dearer.
£250 more per month would double what the family currently spend on food. But Greg's not daunted.
It's more, but it's not terrible, is it, if we're honest with ourselves?
Well, we need to put it into context with wages.
So, what about the bigger bills? Greg and Jenny base their sums on the dream house they saw.
Sorry, that's just jumped straight out at me, the cost of the mortgage compared to home.
Yeah.
That's a biggie.
Phone/internet, £20 at home.
Yeah.
£40 here, so that's minus 20.
What's the difference? £1,796.
Yeah.
In total, the couple discovered they'd be spending around £1,800 per month more in New Zealand.
It's going to go down to wage, because if that was our UK wage, we couldn't afford to live it, could we? We've not got £1,796 a month spare.
No.
The figures don't look good, and taking their potential wages into account only improves them slightly.
So we're £654.
Worse off.
The couple would be almost £8,000 a year worse off if they made the move. But whilst Jenny isn't impressed, Greg's not giving up.
I don't think that's bad. That's on what we call our dream home mortgage.
So basically we would have to go for a house which was like property 1 or 2.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be forever, would it?
Making sacrifices on a home in the short term would undoubtedly help. But as the couple take their vote on finances in New Zealand versus the UK, is the compromise one they'd both be happy to make?
Based on today's reality check, our vote goes to...
UK. You've been gutted about that.
Massively.
We probably could still make it work financially, but I think it would be more of a struggle.
I'm not going to lie, after seeing that I am questioning myself. That's massive for me.
While New Zealand's lifestyle has been everything Greg remembered, achieving the life he dreams of would require significant compromises. But it's perhaps the emotional cost of emigrating which could prove the biggest barrier to a move. As Eve is looked after by a childminder, the couple sit down to watch messages from home.
Hi Jenny, hi Greg. I hope you're having a wonderful time in New Zealand.
Hi Jenny, Greg.
Hello Auntie Jenny and Uncle Greg. Hiya guys, hope you've had a good week.
On the whole, they seem to be a match made in heaven.
Hilarious is the word to me that sums Jenny up. She's got a lot of friends, she's sociable, she's popular.
Independent, principled, loyal.
He's very much a family man. Family's really important.
Evie's a really bubbly little girl. She's really good friends with my daughter, and they work together well.
Evie is my granddaughter. I do spoil her. But if they go, I'll miss her.
If they left, I think it would leave a big hole in everybody's life, not just in mine.
Obviously, yeah, it would be a massive wrench because you've got my mum and dad, and then you've got me and Jenny. The family essentially would be half because my sister's gone, so it'd just be me and my kids.
You make a decision based on what you think is best for you and your family. We'll always love you and we'll always be here for you.
We'll all really miss you. We'll miss the times that we spent together. We'll miss seeing Evie grow up, and we know that all your other friends will feel the same. But you've got to do what's right for you.
I hope that you make the right decisions that suits you, and don't worry too much about us here, because we'll be on the next plane if there's anything else wrong.
You know that I love you, you know that I'll support you. I'll come visit. But please make the decision which is right for you.
It's really making me question whether I've got the guts to try to go through with it.
We have to make what decision we think is best for our family, and that means that we are going to have to be very selfish when we make that decision and not think about others, because I think if we thought about others, the answer would very clearly be no, we're not going.
Ever since he last set foot in the country years ago, Greg has been desperate to make a permanent return to New Zealand. All week he's been on a mission to persuade wife Jenny to make the move. But messages from home may now have given him pause for thought. So, where will the Wallens decide their future lies? Touching down again in New Zealand, Greg was hoping the country would live up to his Bachelor Day memories, and it hasn't let him down.
I knew it was going to be good, but I think it's far better from a lifestyle and living perspective. It's infinitely better, in my opinion, than what we would have back in the UK.
And despite her initial reluctance, a taste of what New Zealand could offer has also appealed to Jenny.
The experience I've had this week that's won me over the most is the lifestyle.
But the couple's week has also shown the reality of life in New Zealand wasn't everything Greg had envisaged.
I'm not going to lie, I thought we'd fare a lot better than we did. And then you get here on the first day, and obviously hence why I got a bit upset. You're looking at your first house and you're thinking it's going to come in over your budget, and it's not at all what you want or would expect from our house.
He is having to come to terms with the fact that things aren't as picture perfect as he initially thought out here.
And he's struggling to come to terms with leaving family behind.
The most emotional part for the week for me was seeing my mum, especially. I know that I need to make the decision for my family, but, you know, I kind of care about everyone else as well.
With their final vote inching closer, the couple are wrestling with conflicting emotions.
It has been difficult because I'm arguing with myself. I can feel it. I can feel an internal conflict of arguing with myself over it.
I'm playing with the rest of my family's life. You know, I'm not going to dance around it. It's harder than the decision I took to ask Jen to marry me. It's harder than the decision I took to take on Evie as my own child.
It's time to decide where the family's future lies. Will Jenny greenlight Greg's dream? And will he decide breaking bonds at home is a price worth paying to achieve the lifestyle he wants?
We've had a fabulous week here in New Zealand, and our vote goes to... New Zealand. What made you do that?
There's some negatives, but there's also a lot of positives, and I think that we've got to give it a try, because I think otherwise we'll always be wondering, what if? So I think we need to come and we give it a try.
This is all my birthdays, all my Christmases, everything I've wanted since I came back.
It's a great result for Greg, with Jenny signing up to the move. He should be on his way back to New Zealand soon. We hope the Wallens go on to make many happy memories together as they embark on their new life on the other side of the world. This year, there's more to Wanted Down Under. See more from the family's week in Wanted Down Under Extra and find out what's happened